My Low-Carb Life, Chapter 9. My first and only 5K race. By late summer 2016, I was well on my way. I was losing weight at a rate of about 2 pounds per week, and I started feeling much better. I was never one to exercise very much. I think it was because I was so out of shape that any kind of physical activity felt like a chore. I had tried to exercise throughout my life, but was never really fit. I decided that perhaps it was time to do some physical activity since my weight loss program was working. At this point in my life, I was self-employed and was working from home, so my schedule was fairly flexible. I decided that the simplest exercise would be the best. I would start gradually by walking a few times per week. Our local high school was just a few minutes away, and they had a quarter-mile track that was open 24 hours a day. I decided that I would get up early in the morning before my workday began and go to the track to walk. At first, I started out walking about 30 to 45 minutes 3 or 4 days per week. I eventually increased my walk to about an hour or so each time I went. I got to the point where I was walking about 1.5 miles per day, and one day I realized that 3.2 miles would equal the same distance as a 5K. I started to walk at least 3.2 miles at least a couple of times a week. The more frequently I walked, the easier it got. To be honest, I wasn't crazy about walking, but I didn't have to join a gym, and I knew it was good for me. By fall, the walking had become easier. For one thing, the weather started to get cooler. I also discovered that I could go to our local marina where they have a paved walkway all along the river. To change things up, I would walk there at least once or twice a week. It was a bit further of a drive to get there, but the view was pretty and it changed things up from just walking in a circle on a track. By September, I decided I needed some sort of goal to work toward because, to be honest, the walking was becoming a bit boring. I noticed that our city was hosting a 5K and 10K run and walk in November. I'd never even thought about entering any sort of organized race simply because I never thought I could finish it, and if I did, I was certain I would come in dead last. However, I thought that signing up for the race would give me something to work toward. I found out that my younger sister had entered the 10K portion of the race. My sister Rachel is a real runner. She had been running for a number of years and seemed excited when I told her that I had registered for the 5K. Even though I was training by walking several times each week, I was still a little hesitant about participating. The race was scheduled for November 19th, 2 days before my 59th birthday. I figured I would be one of just a few older people, and that most of the participants would be much younger and in much better shape. But I was comforted by the fact that the race would take place out by the marina, so at least I would be familiar with the terrain. When I arrived, there were hundreds of people milling around. To my surprise, I saw a number of people I knew who were there to participate. I went and got my race number and my race bib to pin on my shirt. Once the race started, I took off walking toward the assigned route. Most of the folks were running, and a few of us were walking, which was fine with me because I had not been running at all. I was one of the last ones to cross the finish line, but I wasn't dead last. After the race, we waited for the results to be shown on television screens near the finish line. Once it came to my age category, which I think was 50 to 60, the results came in. I'm proud to say that I finished 6th in my group. However, when I tell this story, I usually leave out the fact that there were only 6 people in my age group. I was proud of the fact that I had participated and that I had finished the race. I even have a photo of my sister and me after I completed the 5K and she completed the 10K. I wasn't sure if I would do it again at that point, and up until now, that is the only road race I have ever participated in. Will I do it again? Maybe, maybe not. I guess we'll see.